Don't worry, guys. I'm no idiot. Green Bay Packers draft Jordan Love way too early. Atlanta Falcons bring in Michael Penix, draft him too early. And I said, you know what? These aren't dumb organizations. These are smart organizations. So what did I do? I went and found the best comedian and Packers fan I know, drafted him 4 years early to replace Tom Grossi here on GPS. Welcome, Gareth.
Thank you so much, Brandon. And look, I've been keeping my head down. I've been studying Tom. He was a great mentor to me. We still text. So I think that, the fans, there might be a little bit of a difference. And the first 8 episodes might be a little rough. But after that, I think you're going to find that I'm going to find my footing. And I'm excited to do it. And by the way, Tom obviously is hey, Tom.
Hey. What's going on here, guys?
Brandon,
just,
I feel like you
came here for the show. What's going on?
You're a mentor. You're here to develop Garrett now.
I know my mechanics auditorily are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go defraud Mississippi, and I'm going to take ayahuasca.
Wow.
This
guy.
We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is GPS. Yeah. And Gareth is here.
Hi. I could have done a better intro.
No, hi's good.
Okay. Hi.
No, that's it. That's the whole show, folks. That's
there we go. This has to be the
Was that
triangle.
Bothering you, Perna?
Yeah, I can't be on. I can't be on. This side.
What power?
No, it is.
No, thanks for having me. I was saying to you before the show started, Tom, that you really lived out every Packer fan's fantasy last year, and it was tough to watch as someone who,
slow motion car wreck. Just like
well, no, you were great. Yes, but yes, it was like FOMO but with rage.
Yeah, no, it was like was it bubbling in the chest? Like
yes. It was like fine, and then all of a sudden you're with Aaron Jones, and then you're fan of the year. You know what I mean? It was just, it was like
it was a lot. It was
felt like you were trolling me specific. And by the way, I'm commenting on these posts, but Tom is so in the Packer whirlwind that he's like, look, I'm with the Packers now. I don't have time for the little people. And then I mean, meeting with Mark Murphy, it just was.
Well, I mean, that's been going on since 2016. So, I mean, like that one.
But you were like the fan of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
Yeah.
The real cool part about this is I'm the big Gareth Reynolds fan. Yeah. And first thing he does is compliment Tom. Like, great job, Tom. Such a good year.
I like the Denver. You guys have a lot of good quarterback stuff happening in Denver.
We got Bo Nix.
Yeah. So I call him No Bix. No, that's good for you. That'll be.
Yeah. Actually, you could help me with this because
I don't want to.
Damn it.
I just love how there's a level of disappointment with all of us here, right? So Garrett just walks in and is just like, yeah, I hate this. This is miserable. Yeah. And Perna's like, this is someone that I listen to, look up to, aspire to be, who is now, flattering my co-host. Yeah. And I'm just here with an upset tummy. So nobody's
Tom's
happy.
Literally got a stomach issue. So
nobody's happy. Today.
That's good. All right, that's good. As long as we all have a thing. That's good.
Yeah, we're all suffering. Also, we did a horrible job because we've had Gareth on the show before.
Yes.
We have. Perna, go ahead. You got a fluff. This is what we pay you for.
Oh, yeah. I do have experience fluffing, so this is really easy for me. Gareth Reynolds from the Dollop Podcast and
you can't read off the Wikipedia.
We're Here to Help podcast.
Oh.
Right? Which podcast do you like more, Gareth, that you do?
I don't do that. I won't do
Come
that.
on, throw somebody under the bus.
I'll do what my English mother does whenever my brother and I press her. and
Yeah.
she'll just go, "I love you both the same," and I love them both the same.
No, they're both great. I got a link in the description.
Which one do you like better, Brandon?
Um,
Dollop.
see, like I'm not gonna do that either.
He's a
I
Dollop
listen to the
fan.
Dollop more. I listen
Okay.
to the Dollop
That's
more.
the answer.
But
That's the answer.
for YouTube, you guys have video, so we're here to help. If you're on YouTube, go subscribe there. There is a link in the description. You do it with Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
You just had David Cross on,
Yes.
and
It's my hero. My hero.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, like, who's a comedian that got you into doing comedy? And I kind of started to watch that podcast, and he talked about David Cross. And then I also wanted to like ask you, who's a comedian you watch right now, and you're just like, fuck, I hate how good that guy is.
The first comedian I liked when I was a kid was Louis Anderson.
Nice.
He would talk about his mother. I just loved Louis Anderson right away. Mr. Show with Bob and David. So David Cross, yeah. So that was hugely influential. And someone I watch now, and really, it's weird because I think this guy should be more popular, but anytime Joe List puts out a special, I get excited to watch Joe List. I find Joe List to be very, very funny.
I've done a few shows with Joe. He is phenomenal. Like, he is like legitimately hysterical, but he's been like that for years. And I was just like, how is this guy not more famous?
And that's the phase I'm in, where I keep saying that about myself.
Yeah.
No, but he really is. He is. I just think every special, I'm like, yeah. And sometimes not a knock on him, but just to show how much. Like, I'll show some stuff to people, and people will go, "Oh, that joke," and I'll be like, "That isn't the best joke," but he's funny even with not the best. I mean, he's putting on an hour every year consistently that I consume. I'll watch it, twice at least, and so I'd say Joe List.
Perfect.
What about you, Brandon?
Who's my favorite comedian?
Yeah.
Right now?
Right this
Dave
second.
Anthony.
Like,
Dave
room.
Anthony.
In the virtual room with us.
In this room
Here.
between Tom and Gareth.
I lost. It's fine.
I still go with myself, and I don't even classify myself as a comedian.
Gareth is like, I want one thing. Just one.
What?
Yeah.
Something.
No, what I wanted your help with, Gareth, is all right. So you just introduced the doll heads, and it was not well received. Okay, you introduced the doll heads, and we have Bo Nix now here in Denver, and we've got a lot of names. We've got Big Dicks Nix. We've got Bo Levers, Bodacious.
Ew, Bo Levers.
I think we should be Nixons. I think we should be Nixon supporters.
It didn't go great. It would be different if, Nixon was carried out of the White House by the people of America. If memory serves, it was
but there's a lot of options.
We
need to find the right one. I feel like you're the guy to help.
First of all, okay, let me say, you may call doll heads a bust, but we did our 10th anniversary show Saturday night, and I encouraged people to throw doll heads on the stage, and man, oh man, did they!
Did it happen?
Oh my God! Like,
that's
so many, like an operatic performance that ended in roses, but a little more dangerous and kind of jarring, to be honest.
When I say not well received, I mean my Dave.
Yes, and there were some people who found it is incredibly stupid. So, but you definitely don't want to do anything about his dick, right? I feel like.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, a logical person would say that. Yes.
How about no throw Bo?
Sorry.
Whoa.
How about Tebow?
Oh, I could create a tea brand.
Yes, you could.
Oh my God, you could.
Yeah,
because I have a coffee brand.
Just gave it a merchandising idea.
Tebow.
Yes. Tebow.
All right.
You get to be on it.
1% of all sales, Gareth.
That's more than I had when I came in.
Yeah. You just
International
made
fan of
yourself
the year.
money.
Yeah. That's gosh.
How do you watch how involved are you with watching the draft? Like last time you were here, I was surprised. Like you're really into the Packers. Like your shit. The Packers seems like they have had a good draft. How do you feel about that draft? Like, do you watch day one, or are you guys watching like all 3 days and then like, hey, our team's going to be a lot better, or where are you at with that?
I mean, I definitely watch. This year I was like, this is a little insane. The level, it made me feel bad for Detroit because I was like, wow, you guys really, they're so fired up. So I think that but I watch. I mean, I was watching the NBA, but I was definitely going in for every pick. I mean, you have the time in between, but I pretty much watched the first night, and then after that, I pretty much just keep on top of who they're drafting for the rest of the draft. Because then it starts to get weird, where you're like, cool,
Yeah.
who is he? And you can do that without watching. So, but I definitely stay up on, and I really like their draft. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I would say 80% of their drafts, I'm like, that was a winner. And I know very little about these players, but I do think as far as like, things that they needed to get, and I think, keeping in mind the way that they are, when you hear the new D coordinator talk about the kind of defense he wants to run, I mean, yeah, they want a lot of safety chaos. And I feel like we got some, and I mean, I really feel like the Marshawn, I don't know, the running back excited me in
Lloyd?
a way.
Yeah.
That running back excited me in a way where I was like, because obviously losing Aaron Jones was bizarre because we didn't think we were going to. A lot of people say that after Tom and him hung out, that's when he kind of made the decision. So
It was true. Yeah,
it kind of was tilted him in that direction.
Just had to meet me one time, and he's like, "I'm out." He's like, "I
Yeah.
carry the G. I'll take a pay cut. I met this. This is the fan of the year." Gone.
Yeah, I
Gone.
know. I did read that's where the cheese curdled. And but no, I definitely feel like they had a really good draft. I also feel like they have a really good team. So you know how it is. It's like the first year you can't expect too much, but we don't have Devondre Campbell anymore, so I feel very good about the Packers draft and about their chances this season. Like when I came on here last time, we were talking about it, and we were like, "Oh, who knows?" But man, they are in a good spot.
It's annoying how good
Garrett,
Jordan Love
listen,
really
there was a few weeks where we were like not good, and
No.
I was like, "Oh man, this is really rough." Like this, it took a toll on my mental health.
Yes,
and I really just had to kind of seek within.
How easily we forget. John even says,
A thank you to John Elway, or John Elway.
Had to end that.
Why would you do it like that?
It's Tebow. You brought up Tebow.
That's like flipping a table. You could have just walked away from it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, you talked about the safeties. Like, literally, Jeff Halfley looked at that safety room and was like, no.
Yeah.
He was like, what do you mean, no? No.
Yeah.
And then we got all new safeties. Like, Xavier McKinney, getting him in free agency.
That's a great grab.
It was, dude, because, like, as a Packers fan, like, the Packers don't usually go out and spend premium money on a premium guy in free agency. And for them to do that here, because the last time they did it was, like, the Smith Bros and Billy Turner and Adrian Amos. Here, like, going out and getting McKinney completely changes that safety room, and then to add it in the draft, yeah, I'm super stoked to see what they do.
I also think that under the Ted Thompson era, you really were conditioned. Like he signed Charles Wood. Like when you sign a big free agent, you are like, they have to be pretty sure that this is going to fit. And I mean, the defense was very frustrating to watch last year. Those games that you're talking about where we weren't putting the pieces together, there were still like signs. Like Love would have at least 2 to 3 throws a game where you would be like, he has something. He just can't put it together. Our first half numbers for the first, eight games were abysmal. Mm-hmm. I mean, we kept putting ourselves in holes. And so you couldn't really judge how good they were. But once Love started to kind of, the switch flipped, it was crazy. Watching the defense was absolutely the worst part. That 49er game was like, it was one of those ones where it wasn't as bad as some of the other losses we've had in those moments because I didn't think it would be that good of a game.
Correct.
Or the Cowboys game. I was like, they might have a shot, but I mean, it was just a beatdown. So I definitely feel way more optimistic. I was so glad when when we fired our D coordinator, I was so happy when we signed Xavier McKinney, and I don't know. I mean, I just feel like everything that Jeff Haley said, I was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's just okay. Do we right now? Like, I have a bit of hope. I'm not gonna lie. I have a bit of hope for
I have
the
a lot of
Packers
hope.
defense. But see, I would love to have a lot of hope.
Yeah.
It's just I know the history.
Yeah.
Right. And like Dom Capers, great for a while, and then that didn't go well. Mike Pettin did not go well. Right. Joe Barry did not go well. And it's just like, okay, like we were expecting 2 years ago to have a top 5 defense. And then that just went to absolute garbage. And we're like, okay, never mind.
Well, what Barry did that was so, like, it's that prevent. You watch that the prevent just, I would rather them get blown. I mean, you're getting blown up either way, but Joe Barry would always go to the prevent. That was the same thing with Caper. I feel like we've had Dom Capers since we've had Dom, like since he left. I feel like everyone I've been, like everyone. Mike Pettin, I think, was the best of all of them, but he wasn't even. You got to be able to stop the run, but it's a little, as you know, it's like when you actually break down what that means. There's so many other pieces that go into play there. I like that we have a specific plan, and it's just to create chaos. I also love how in the NFL you can say what you're gonna do. Like, I always think that's so funny. You can be like, yeah, we're gonna just be like safety lunatics. You'd think that would, like, other teams would be like, all right, here's what. But you can't really stop it if you do it properly.
Yeah, 100%. And as long as Stokes is like good, that secondary should be good. And I'm excited. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like under Halfley. But
and Quay, I feel like Quay Walker, like, is such a beast that again, I mean, you give these guys a little bit more time to do what they can do, and a second, and that just changes everything.
Yeah.
Ooh. This is a good question from Carlos.
Oh.
I would rather marry a woman who hates sports.
Interesting.
See, I would rather root for a team's rival so I can just slowly turn them to the light. Like, that'd be my project and be like, okay, like, this is what I'm going to spend my life's work on.
I'm going to change you. That's always a good recipe for a happy marriage. It's
basically just being like a Jehovah Witness and trying to, like, bring people to the light. And it's just like, I'm going to be knocking. And
this is going to work if you change.
It depends who she likes. If she likes if she was like a Chiefs fan, I would rather a different sport. Because you're in the midst of it would be like dating a Patriots fan during the dynasty. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I can't do this.
A Vikings fan?
I could.
That's the thing. Like,
I could do that because I'd be like, it's adorable. Look at you, getting all dressed up, thinking you're gonna go deep in the playoffs.
It's got to be a rival that's a threat that makes it hurt, right? Yes. Like if it's
Yeah, that's like fair. if I were a Bears fan and she were a Packer fan, I'd be like, no. But again, that's what I love about the North.
No. We're not doing
like Jake, the guy I do We're Here to Help with, is a huge Bears fan.
Yeah,
and it just talking to him about the Bears every year, it's Groundhog Day. He watches football like Bill Murray every time. He's like, yeah, but what we're gonna do this time is, we got the and I'm like, go do it again, do it for the next 4 years.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he was a Bears fan. Is he like just like the nicest guy?
No.
No,
no, he is the best. Yeah,
perception.
Like, he always just seems like a guy's like, you know what? I bet outside of the shows, he's actually also very cool and very nice.
He has been my friend for probably like 16 years, and so I knew him when he had nothing, and was just a crazy guy who was talking about how he was going to angle in the Hollywood business, and I'd be like, yeah, all right, buddy. And then And then he was on New Girl. Like, I remember when he got the show New Girl, and then it blew up. And the only thing that changed was I just didn't see him as much. But he truly is the exact same guy. He talks about some different things because he has more opportunity. But as far as like, he was always a bit business nuts, and he still is. But he is forever like unchanged completely.
A few people already referenced Gary in here, and where are you with Gary? Because
I'm a journey.
Last time you were on, I think it's funny, right? Is that like from one of the first episodes where Dave calls you Gary. Like, it's been around forever. But
yeah,
over the
don't know.
last year, people started calling me Boomer on here because
that boomer
I'm
hurts
old.
though. Boomer
That
hurts.
I do not like it. At
My
first, it was
my
funny.
niece went through an okay boomer phase to me, and I was like genuinely like, she needs to stop doing that.
You're like telling on her parents. You're telling your parents.
And to my brother, I was like,
"She's so mean.
I was like, she's actually a little out of line with that. I am not a boomer.
I'm a young man."
Yeah. I'm fine with it. The Gary chants are a thing that happens at most dollop shows, and I would say it probably happens to about 40% of my shows, my stand-up shows, and it's fine. I mean, again, I think like I've had half of my career where nobody cared about me in any way. So to have them be 3 letters off my actual name, it's a lot better than nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And you guys started you just had your 10th anniversary show.
Yes.
When did like the show start to pick up steam? Because like Tom and I are kind of like in a similar situation where we did YouTube for years. Nobody watched or really gave a shit, and you're still just trying to like keep going. But like, when did you guys realize like you had something with that show? Was it pretty quick?
It was after my first appearance on this.
Oh yeah,
momentum
Thank
picked
you.
up.
Yeah, I feel like we launched a career here.
It really did. It was really helpful. It was pretty quick. I mean, I guess it's hard for me to fully know because I really had been grinding in other directions for so long and nothing was working. So when something was working, it was like, was I hydrated or was I in the desert and had an eyedropper of water? Like, but immediately there was something. And then I would say about a year after we started, we went to Australia to do a small tour, and that was really the first time where I had fans, and there were people who were like just coming up to me on the street, and that, and I was like, holy shit. So something there had kind of changed a little bit. But really that first year, and then I was getting like comedians that I adored were like messaging me and going like, man, you're fun. And it was all very, very strange because I kind of had gotten to the point where I was like, I'm going to keep grinding and everything. But I was kind of like, that ship has sort of sailed a little bit to some extent,
Sure.
I was like writing and other shit. So, but pretty quick.
And look at you now.
Here I am.
This is my last question about the podcast you do.
Yeah. No, it's done after this. We sank another career today.
Well, you guys have to sometimes like your recordings don't go through at your live shows, right?
Yes.
And then you redo the podcast together and then post it. Like, how much
that sucks so
the
much.
original pod do you recall?
Sucks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have really, my friend comes on the road with us now, and it has helped our audio recordings. We lose a lot of them, which is just crazy and something that people keep bringing up for good reason. But that question is very good because I don't remember a lot. It's very good that I have, I don't smoke pot anymore, but I had a good run there where I kind of just cushioned myself for this time where about 8 months later, I'm like, something rings a bell, but not much. I certainly never repeat a bit because I don't remember my bits, but some stuff I'll go, oh, right. Like we did a redo a couple weeks ago. And it was basically this guy had a masturbating problem. And so they would cover him in water at certain times. And eventually they bound his hands to his ankles.
When he slept, right?
Yeah. So that he couldn't do it. And I was like, that rings a bell. I remember the guy who had to have his hands.
That would be tough to forget, but you're like, it's fuzzy. I remember it, but it's fuzzy.
Yes, I was not like, oh yeah. I was like, right, right. but that's a testament to the show because so many crazy things get said that stuff like that. I'm like, it's hazy, but it's there.
I do remember the weird masturbating guy.
Yeah.
That one sticks out.
Yeah. But since I never listened to the show, so it kind of
Right.
is in one ear out the other. But
Yeah.
but re-recording them, it sucks. I mean, because I don't mind doing it, but I will be sitting there going like, I think this was a really good show.
Yeah.
And now I got to try to do it. Was that as good as the time we did it before? You know?
Recreate the magic.
Yeah. Yes. So, but yeah, we lose a lot of shows. We lose a lot of shows for some
Do you
reason.
find that like as you've continued, like the community element has like grown significantly, like especially like obviously stuff with the YouTube and stuff, but just having that fan base and that element of like, oh, that communication that's enhanced the show?
Totally. I think I'm sure like you find, I mean, you start to
Yeah.
kind of develop you can't have necessarily the personal relationship with your fans, but you get a real strong headwind of what they're feeling, what they're liking, because of social media, because of you, even if you're not like in contact, you do, there is reach there. And it really does create I mean, the doll heads is a very good example. I said this, calling our fans doll heads is stupid. And so I thought, call them doll head. And I was like, and we're encouraging people to bring doll heads to the shows. And Dave's going, don't do that. Don't do that. And then not in any of my thoughts was I like, oh, we'll come out for our 10th anniversary show and people are going to throw doll heads at us. So, and then I think Patreon too. I think when you have a Patreon, it is kind of like it's like your locker room almost. And that definitely, you can tell what people like and what people appreciate. And, you do. It's one of the things that I think is sort of strange about the new famous, which is kind of like, there's a lot more of us who get a little bit of a chunk of this. And so you kind of, maybe you have a small, and it's not like we're The Rock, but we're the Pebble. And and you do get like, you get your smaller camp, but there's a lot more back and forth in a weird way.
It's so funny because like I feel like going through stand up and like doing the stand up scene, like I remember back in the day going, oh, well, if you got on late night, you made it. You're done. Like that's it. Like, oh, your career is like taking off from there.
TV show. Yeah.
No one cares anymore. Like that's not where it is. And like you talk about this new element of whether it's like social media or fame or whatever the heck it is. I just find that like the longer that I do this, I realize that the internet has become just like these pockets of communities that are like, oh yeah, like we're going to throw doll heads on stage here, right? Or like, oh, we're going to scream into a pillow about football here. Like, oh, and people just find the people that they gravitate towards or like the thing that they like. And you create these little internet communities. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's also because, Jake, who we're here to help with, he's like famous. Like he's famous from a TV show. And then now he's doing a podcast. And he's finding that more community fame sort of vibe. And he's like, oh, it's different, but it's great, but it's different,
Because it's your people. Like they're like, it's your people. Like they make the inside jokes. It's like, oh, like this is like the kind of comedy that I like. You're not going to have a ton of people go to your shows and be like, I hate you. It's like, why are you here? I mean, it happens, but
no, it happens a lot when I just stand up. But yeah, no, exactly. You have a direct connection. And I think because I go out and do stand up and I'll go, oh man, they're loving this or whatever. And he's like, wow, he's really intrigued by it,
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
Whoa.
and that's kind of like how I would say like the internet's evolved too, where like working on shows like YouTube shows 10 years ago for other people, I feel like there was a lot more negativity. And now like you build like respect with your audience. And I feel like if you go to the YouTube comments after you upload a video, it's just people who are really nice and supportive. And it's like a great thing. Whereas like, I feel like earlier people are just coming there to just shit on you, to take digs. And people kind of learn like to invest with the audience. And then the haters come later. So it's like, I'll go into a video. If I'm there early, it's just people who are nice and supportive.
Yeah.
And then YouTube does this thing where it just shows like random comments in your app. And if you look at that thing after a video's been up for a while, it's like you're a fucking idiot. Why would anybody watch this show? You're like, oh God, they're still out there.
You can't go to the comments. You can't. It's kind of double edged because I definitely I appreciate the nice comments from me, and I'm like, they're right. I am great. And then I'll like see a clip of someone who sucks, and everyone will be doing the same thing, and I'm like, these people are idiots.
Yeah.
But no, I think to some extent, I think you like, you have your inside jokes. I mean, it's like it's very much like that. But there still are the comments that seep through that just like you're saying, you'll just go, no, like there are hour killers, there are day killers, and then there are ones that never leave. Like I mentioned that someone called me on a YouTube clip from years ago, a fat Aaron Paul. And that I said that on We're Here to Help, and I was saying I wasn't saying it for like, like, hey, but man, so people show up to shows and they'll have shirts on that say like fat Aaron Paul, and I'm like, ugh.
But you've kind of turned it like you have to do that, right?
Yeah.
You have to wear it as armor and just be like, you know what? Yeah, did this cut me deep? 100%. But nope, God pretend everything's okay.
Well, I think to some extent it's like you kind of like, I have people who will like ask me that at times, be like, doesn't that suck? And you're like, it's like it's like the news suck. It's like, I almost have like a layer that can't be penetrated any longer by it. So it's like, you're like, it hurts, but it's the new hurt.
It's fine. Like you have to get, this is not a challenge. You have to get really creative to like cut, like after teaching high school, after doing stand up, after being on the internet for like almost 10 years doing content. It's like, you got to cut pretty darn deep. Like I've gotten death threats, casket brochures. Like at this point, it's like, all right.
I sent the casket brochures because
I appreciate it.
I wanted to let you, there's some options.
Yeah.
There's options.
I didn't like that you circled the cedarwood one because that was the cheaper option. I didn't think that was
like, I don't know what you're pulling. I'm trying to give you some. Listen, I'm just saying. I don't know if it's like Miss America. If you can't finish out the year as fan of the year, that maybe I feel like it goes to whatever. We're just guys talk. I get you. Yeah, it's locker room talk.
Yeah. We're just talking. Hold on, Gareth. Can you do me a favor that you could tell me absolutely not to?
Sure.
So Mars donate $100. Would you mind booping the kitty behind you?
Booping itself?
For
$100. And what's my cut of this money? All right, I don't even. We'll talk. We'll negotiate off air.
Okay, yeah.
Boop.
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
We got a boop.
Yeah, we're back.
Of course.
Johnny John John.
That's Scooter Elway.
That's John Elway on a scooter.
It's just anytime someone's donating $100, it's got to be Scooter Elway during GPS. We talk about the internet community things that we're talking about.
Well, yeah, John L. Yeah, so Brandon, so what do you think about? What do you think is the state of the Broncos? It's so bizarre.
Yep. It's
what like last year was the Russell Wilson era was. Can we admit? I'm sure you guys have talked, but it is the funniest era. I mean, and that's with the Tebow era in mind.
Yeah.
The Russell Wilson. My favorite thing was the Let's Ride. Obviously, the green screen Let's Ride was like probably, when someone would call me a fat Aaron Paul, I would go there and watch that and feel better about myself.
At least I didn't say Let's Ride.
Yeah. Let's Ride with the chemistry of a corpse.
Yeah. It's I have very conflicting feelings. Like as a fan, rough.
Yeah.
As somebody making videos about it,
right.
I didn't want Russ to ever leave.
Yeah.
There's just this, for whatever reason, people want to click on anything that is Russell Wilson adjacent. Like if you put Russ in the thumbnail, people are going to watch your video.
Yeah.
If there was genuine pain watching my football team. And over the last 2 years, like I had more growth on YouTube because of the Broncos being horrible than I did in the 8 or 9 years before, which sucks. Like, it's like I made so many like good videos hyping up the team, trying to be positive. In the moment, I'm just like, I can't take it anymore. People are like, that's what we want to see. So now I'm like, if they're good, is my growth over? Like,
That's it.
do I have to trade my team success for? Oh God, I can't put my kid through college one day.
Well, let's do it. What? All right, you got to pick.
It's true.
What are you gonna do?
What I want to happen this next season is I want things to be very rough to start with. I want it to be bad. I want us
Your
to
numbers.
be beaten down, Bo Nix to look horrible, and then rise from the ashes. Somehow we sneak into the playoffs, and I finally get to talk to Tom about what it's like to have your team in the playoffs.
Wow.
Because since we've been doing this, my team has not been there.
No. Well,
You
you
know?
always have the Super Bowl where John Elway helicoptered you guys against us. But but that's I understand that, and I think you're going to get that. And you also have the MILF Hunter, don't you? You have Zach Wilson this year.
Yep.
We got Zach Wilson.
Right.
That's your
Yeah.
mama's.
If he starts a game, that video will do
The videos where Tom or where Brandon is going like where he's like sitting there, he's like, oh no, like one video you hit your head. It was really fun to watch.
Get into it. You get into it.
Just dive.
Yeah.
I think the Hail Mary and failed
Hail
2-point
Mary.
conversion,
Was
that is like the epitome of an amazing, like, we did it.
Yeah.
Yes. Nope.
It
And
was
the
just
game
ripped
is over.
away immediately.
Well, it's also because Russell Wilson believes that like he is invested in a water that like helps concussions and like you know what I mean. He's like such an idiot
Appreciate you.
that
man.
it's that it's like to watch that moment where you're like, damn it, and he's probably like, that's right, the Lord picketh me, and then you're like, and you didn't get the 2-point conversion. So what a complicated message from above, Russ.
Yeah,
But it is.
He invested in bread, Gareth.
Oh, he
pretty
did.
much everybody eats bread.
It was
This one is a little bit deflated.
it was bread in the shape of a ball.
Yeah,
This was found. Brandon or Johnny, would you find this?
yeah.
And it apparently still exists. It wasn't very popular here, shockingly, but it still exists. What was it, Germany? It was like somewhere in Europe. It's still like pretty darn
Bread ball.
popular.
Weirdo.
It's just bread in the shape of a ball.
The NFL quarterbacks are weird. We've got so many.
Don't conflate it to all.
When I say natural family planning, many people probably wonder what in the world is that, and it was a fancy word for no contraception. You do it all off your wife's.
Like we got so many gold mines.
Oh man, him. He has enough to start a franchise, which is so.
He's got an offense, baby. He's got an offense.
He really does. He literally has an offense. But you're comparing. I mean, you can't be like they're all weird. Let's look at normal guy Phillip Rivers. Like Phillip Rivers is also. There are some normal guys. I will say Rodgers obviously is a little.
That one.
But that's what since he left. Since he left, he's let it rip. So I think we've got, if history has taught us anything, it's that we have, 17 seasons of love, and then eventually he'll come out as like a Satanist or something.
When he wins a Super Bowl, we're good.
Yes, totally. Yes. And I have a bet with Jake Johnson that I think it's if the Packers win in a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, I think he owes me $1,000.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's right.
Which
nice.
I can buy a house.
There you go.
Exactly. Interesting.
Can you buy a house for $1,000?
There'll be no more questions from Brandon. Tom, let's sidebar.
I got you, buddy. So when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, why are they just significantly better than the Broncos in every way? Also, what's the story with the cat? That's the more important question.
Altitude, the fans own them. Those are two. Also, John Elway, great quarterback, but he has bratwurst for fingers. And this is my cat, Jose, who is a legend. And we had a sponsor on the podcast that was like, you send them a picture and they make a painting of it.
Oh.
And you'd think that you would do that with a family member, but I was like, Jose, and it has hung there. I basically live in a museum of my cat.
I love it.
And,
I love it so much.
Yeah, it's really gotten strange as my 40s have climbed on. It's become strange and sad.
I love how you're like, oh no, you don't know what's beyond this camera.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
just
literally.
There's
This
a
is
guy
the
in
normal
his
corner.
furry outfit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, 1 minute, I gotta change Keith's
I'll
litter.
be there in a
Keith-
minute. God.
Keith used his litter. I gotta change it. So,
Nice. Well, we'll let you get going. I know you got to get out of here. I appreciate you coming in.
hey, I said it before. Anytime, and I think we had a bet where one of us, and I believe it to be you, based on last year's record.
Brandon,
has
no,
to
this was a
shave-
thing, Gareth. You
Yes.
are 100% correct. Like, yeah, he lost a bet. He
Yeah.
doesn't do them.
So
what
what's
was
your
the
deal?
bet?
I believe you had to shave. I think you had to shave a heart into your chest.
Oh,
You had to
chest
shave
hair.
something into your chest. I
Into
forgot
your
what
skin.
it. Now it's got to be a brand.
You had to brand your skin. No,
yeah,
I-
right. Because we started talking about Manscaped,
Hell
and then I was
yes.
like, I'll shave
Hell
a
Yeah. So well, and
Oh, it was a
I
G.
said,
I think it was a G.
oh, it was a G.
G for Gareth.
And well, for Green Bay, who knows?
for
Either
Green
way.
Bay, but yeah.
I think either way, I do think for the sake of your team, you should probably, do that bet the next time I come here. You should, and I don't even think we should. I think it should be prepared, and I think that we should
I
just
agree.
be ready to go next time. And I think
I
that
can
would
do
be
it.
nice.
I can
and
do it
think that
live
would-
next time. I'll shave
Okay.
it in live.
That
Yeah.
sounds great. I would really make an
That's
event
what
of
people
that.
want to see.
I would really let's see. This is why you know what you're doing on the YouTubes now. You'll do it
Yeah.
live. It's very smart.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll Bill O'Reilly the G.
Gareth, we
Bill
have the
O'Reilly,
links
our
in the
hero.
description. Where can people find you and all the things that you do, my friend?
I'm in a cat museum
Yes.
in California, and you can find me at Reynolds Gareth on the socials. And you can go watch my special or some of my content on YouTube, which is Gareth Reynolds TV. And then you can also go find my podcast, We're Here to Help, or The Dollop, wherever you listen to podcasts. And they're all fantastic.
Yeah. There's a link in the description.
Yeah, there's a
for
link
that.
in the description, guys.
There's
Go
a link
click
in the
it.
description.
Subscribe now.
Thanks, Tom.
Got you.
And thank you for having me on. Brandon, I look forward to the next time when I get to see the G. Tom, again, thank you for living out my fantasy. If you could pull some strings over there and let them know there's a grown man with a Packer tattoo who would relish the opportunity to carry the crown for a year. No pressure. I know
Okay.
when you get in these meetings, it's probably not the first thing on your mind, but it could be good.
Yeah,
I really you crawled so I could walk. And that's how I viewed your journey through my prism.
That is, you nailed it. I mean, there's nothing else really to say. That's my whole life
Thank you.
arc.
Thank you,
So.
guys. So anyway,
I want this to be awkward. So
Yep. So enjoy the bread. Hey Broncos country, let's ride and go Pack go.
go Pack, go baby. Let's go.
All right. Thank you guys.
Let's go. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Boom. All right. We done did it. Brandon, now it's just you and I. I got nothing to talk about now.
All done.
Hold on. I want to put back our... No, that's not it. This one it? No. This one. Hey. No. This one. No.
There we go.
This one. Hey. Okay. We have a lot of backgrounds.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we've got this background was up, and I was like, we have a guest. Do we still have the guest background? Luckily, we did.
We did. We came prepared. Also, before we started, I got in a little early today, and so when Brandon came into the show, this was waiting for him.
I was gonna ask. I forgot. I was gonna ask Gareth if he knew who that was.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Do you know this man?
It was either that or this one. Wyatt, you have to get him on the show next.
Yeah, we do.
We really need to get him on the show. Really play into. I was like, listen,
Yeah.
if you're willing to wear a cape and fangs, we can make you a star.
I agree. And, he played center in college. He's probably going to play guard, but Will came up with Count Snapula. So we've got the nickname if he does play center. Somebody DM'd me saying they went to, I think, high school with him. So we're going to get
Let's
our
go.
research
Let's
done.
go. This
We're gonna
is
get our
what the
research done.
community's for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a giant G. A giant G. That's it. Because Gunther will be bringing home the gold.
Ooh,
Mr. Kennedy will make
Gunther.
an appearance. It'll be great. That'll be great. Perna, we also had a title that is talking about
Yes.
what teams need help. And 44 minutes in, I think we should talk about it. It was already said before, Bears still need an edge player. I agree. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. I got a thing we can look through here.
Oh, look at this. A
Look
thing.
at this. A thing.
I like it. I also love how you're such a big fan of Gareth and he is just a Packers fan. It
Yeah,
makes me
and a
really
fan of
happy.
you. It's really cool.
It really, really makes me happy. It's really blessed.
It's okay. I'll have my day.
Well, who's a famous celebrity that loves the Broncos?
We don't have any. That's the thing. It's like I think like Kurt Russell and his family like the Broncos, but they're not like all out going and getting the Broncos.
Celebrities who are
Some people say Don Cheadle, but he likes the Chiefs too, so I can't really count that.
Okay. Hey, did you hear this guy Tim Tebow?
He's not a celebrity. He's a
Okay,
former
okay.
player.
Someone said Don Cheadle. Yeah, but okay.
He was born like he grew up in Kansas City or something, so he likes the Chiefs too. I don't
Hey,
know.
Holly Holm, UFC fighter. Okay.
Oh,
Kyle
right,
Busch.
right. She, yeah, I think she's from New Mexico, maybe or something.
Jessica Biel. All right. She grew up in Boulder. She tweeted, "Yeah, Broncos" back in 2014. So,
Hey, come on, Jessica, we need you back.
hey.
We need you back.
Kate Hudson grew up in Colorado, and Peyton Manning found his way to the Broncos. Our whole family was like, that was in 2016.
Yeah, see, that's the Russell family, you know, Hudson. That's a
Yeah.
Russell.
Tim Allen.
Oh yeah, we do have Tim. He also likes the Lions, though. So
Got the South Park guys too.
yes,
Whoa.
but again, they're not out there. They're not like going to the games. They're not giving us. You know, you guys got Brian Bumgardner. The Chiefs got like Paul Rudd and
True.
the guy from Modern Family and Rob Riggle, and like those guys like show up.
Apparently, Warren Buffett calls the Broncos his favorite team.
Well,
Just
Warren, you
And
know there are somebody needs to teach Warren how to use super chats.
Hey, you got Amy Adams.
We got Amy Adams?
You got Amy Adams.
All right, that's A-list.
That's a big pull.
Yeah.
Big pull? No.
Amy
Coco.
Adams, great.
No. Amy Adams
Yeah.
is great.
You know,
Hey, yes, Caleb Williams is a Packers fan. Let's go, baby.
did he grow up a Packers fan?
He's tweeted all about loving the Packers. Yeah, it's
Wow.
Mitch Trubisky did this. It is great. It makes me
Wow.
happy. Oh yeah, those tweets will be making a comeback.
Anytime he plays poorly, they will.
Listen. We have Arnold and Rick from Pawn Stars.
Nice.
All right, sorry. Go ahead, continue.
What were we talking? I don't know.
What teams still need help?
Oh, yeah. So they said Bears could still use a little depth of edge.
Yeah.
I would say Falcons as well.
Dan Hill.
Why has nobody signed Yannick Ngakoue?
How old is he now?
He is 29.
Okay.
He was
Probably
with
be
the
a-
Bears last season. Had 4 sacks, so the Bears aren't going to bring him back.
Yeah.
Maybe Falcons. Cowboys still need help at running back, I think.
Yeah, I would say running back a little bit for the Cowboys. Listen, right now, the Bears, we're just going to see if they could actually pull it off. You know, they want another off season. Let's see if they could actually translate it to a winning season. We'll see.
Place Campbell, is he still going to play? He's like 40.
South Park.
He's up there.
Exactly. Oh yeah, Calais Campbell. He's a little bit up there. I think the when you list out teams that are like, oh man, like they have glaring holes. Yeah, the Cowboys running back again. I don't hate the Zeke signing for them, but they still need to address that position. But that's
Sure.
like one of the most outstanding ones. There's definitely some teams that still could use some O-line help. Definitely. I don't know, man. Like I don't know if like the power rankings for the draft has really shifted a ton. If there's any team I'm even higher on, it's just the Texans. But a lot of that is because like the Stephon Diggs trade, and I think they had a solid draft, but I think they're just going to be a really good team.
Yeah, I cut a thing about the Texans from my episode where they drafted where's their draft? A guy to play basically nickel corner. And their corner, they've got Jeff Okudah and CJ Henderson. And had they not traded away their first round draft pick, they could have been in a position to take one of the best, corners in the draft and really, I think, solidify an area of need, because I don't know if Jeff Okudah or CJ Henderson is going to be able to turn it around there. So that was like one of those like hindsight things. They made that trade with the Vikings. Maybe if they would have known how the draft was going to fall, they wouldn't have done that because they're like, look, we can get a really top flight corner here at this spot. But, when you have CJ Stroud, you're probably going to be okay. I think CJ Stroud's going to be one of the more fascinating quarterbacks to watch in year 2.
I agree.
Kamari Lassiter, that's who they drafted. Like a solid pick. A lot of people like that pick. But he's going to be a nickel ahead of Desmond King, who I thought played really well for him last year. And their question is Okudah, Henderson, opposite of Stingley. So
yeah,
I had that in there. I was like, this is really getting into the weeds. Too football head.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Firebirds, baby. Get rid of Antonio Brown. Beautiful things. Yeah, someone was the mascot, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, these the secondary is interesting. Yeah, Simmons still available. I imagine Simmons is going to get signed within the next month if he's still playing football.
You would think so.
Because just somebody who needs additional depth, bring him in. Need to help that secondary out.
I feel like the reason Simmons hasn't signed is because they're holding on to his value in terms of the monetary compensation, and he's in a position where he's like, we're just going to wait till somebody's going to actually pay what I'm worth, because he's like, him not being on a team is perplexing to me because he's still really good. He was an impact player on a bad Broncos defense last year. He's not super old yet. It might be like training camp, preseason, a guy gets hurt and that's when he signs. But I don't know, man.
I think it's a mix of age, probably wants a decent contract, and after the draft settles, they're gonna be like, okay, like where can we potentially plug this guy in if we have an additional money to spend?
Yeah, he's 30. It's like, which team could just use this? He needs a little safety help.
Yeah.
Nice. See, that's helpful. Lassiter will be fun to watch there, but they could have had Lassiter and another lockdown guy.
Got him. Just saying. Yeah.
Where are the running backs? Who can Dallas still sign?
It's
Where's our running backs?
Not an idea. I mean, like everyone got signed, got paid.
Here we go. Dalvin Cook, Rashad Penny, Cam Akers, the ageless Latavius Murray, you got Kareem Hunt.
So they bring in like a McKinnon or something just to like
Boston Scott signed. He's not available.
Yeah, he's such signed.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the Broncos signed. They signed me, Tom.
Yeah.
They signed the physical version of me. The gent's name is, where is this? BJ West. Same first two initials.
Hell yeah.
5'8", 142 pounds. That is my exact build. And so there is nobody I am rooting for more in the entire NFL than for BJ West to make the Broncos roster. Like, you can be 5'8" in the NFL, but those dudes are usually like 190 pounds.
Yeah.
They're like me, but with 40 pounds of muscle, and they're fast somehow.
Correct.
Still.
Yes.
Like, if I tried to run with 40 extra pounds on me, no. I'd be slower than you with COVID trying to run the 40. Finally, I gotcha.
That was justified.
I gotcha.
That was justified. And it's going to be even more embarrassing when I catch all those passes against you this summer.
Nah, ain't going to happen.
It is.
That'll be fun. But, dude, 142-pound running back from Alabama State.
Hey,
bring
it. It could work. Dude, Ricky Pearsall going there is interesting, but I think if he was going to get moved, it was going to be during the draft. But he didn't.
Yeah, I think the Niners are rocking with all three dudes.
And then it'll just let's see what happens.
Yeah. Give Ricky a little time to understand the offense. Let's see what we got. Then they know if they need to, offer Ayuk an extension, or I don't think they would trade Debo. So,
I mean, that's been the rumor's been for years, and then he got a big contract. Lattimore, I don't think so right now, unless like the Saints are really, really bad at the start of the season, and it's like week 8, and we're like, oh, maybe, but
is he still with the Saints? Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore. The other trade to be watching, I guess, is the Steelers
agree.
making a move for somebody.
Yeah, just getting another wide receiver.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Cortland Sutton. Apparently, it's not Sutton. And then
Tyler Boyd's meeting with the Vikings. Apparently, there's mutual interest there. Boyd would be a solid pickup there. Be good. He'd be basically wide receiver 3. Dude, yeah, Dalvin Cook. I mean, Rodgers was banging the drum for him, and it did not go well. But then also, Breece Hall came back pretty quickly. Early on in the season was like, okay, but even Breece Hall didn't do that amazing last year. But the O-line was also not good. So
yeah, he didn't get enough carries. Like Breece Hall was doing well. It's just like you got Hackett calling plays for backup quarterbacks. That's a disaster.
Perna has not watched Coach yet. No.
Yeah, I gotta watch Taylor Swift first.
Got to get bronze statue of me.
I should start Taylor Swift tonight. Oh shit, it's Wednesday. We got clickbait tomorrow. I need to watch it. Oh fudge. I said I would do it this week.
Oh, how did was it burrito night or fajita night on Monday? What did we rock with?
Fajitas. We did steak fajitas. I made steak fajitas.
So now what's tonight?
Well, probably some more steak fajitas, but I got a new sponsor, so I've been eating. I had to eat Factor last night, and pleasantly surprised. So I got all this food. I've got too much food to eat now. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have fajita egg breakfast.
Okay.
Chop up the steak a little
Appreciate
more.
You, Mars. You crazy.
Put in some eggs.
Thank you.
Throw some green chili on it.
Ooh, green chili, nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. What do you got coming out today, Perna?
I don't know.
That's fair. That is very, very fair. I dropped If the NFL Draft Was Scripted. It was over 9 minutes yesterday. It took me 2 days to do. I loved every second of it. So check that out. I'm going to try to get a video out today. I don't know if it's going to be Packers draft grades or power rankings. I have to take Dash to the vet because to finally hopefully figure out what the heck's going on with his leg. So we'll see. We'll see. Appreciate you, Mars. But folks, thanks for tuning in today. We'll be back on Friday because then we're taking a week off because Brandon Perna's going on a vacation.
I'll be out of town, baby.
That's it. So we'll see you on Friday. We appreciate you. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
When you've reached your destination.
Where is it?